Welcome back, Tribe. I have one here from Paul Joseph Watson. Let's get into it.
They really can't even hide it anymore.
A snapshot of Britain in the 80s. Beachgoers in the seaside town of Bournemouth, a place which has always been a magnet for holidaymakers and seasonal workers. Fast forward to the final days of this summer and the change is undeniable.
Wait, this is Sky News? Holy shit. Looks like one of my videos.
In the Bournemouth area between the 2011 and 2021 censuses, the non-British-born population went up by 47%. And immigration everywhere has risen significantly since then.
Since the previous census, a 60% increase in people identifying as an ethnic minority. And boy, is it obvious.
Oh, would you like to be beside the seaside? Oh, would you like to be beside the sea? Oh, would you like to stroll along the park while the passers and wait gently on?
Bournemouth then, Bournemouth now. Then.
Oh my god, the contrast. This is treason. There's no other word for it. The people in power that allow this to happen are traitors to the nation. And they should be sentenced to the full extent of whatever the laws in the UK are for traitors.
Then.
Ah, what a time. So beautiful.
Now.
Holy hell.
Then. Now.
This is a perfect example of rubbish that's been left on Bournemouth Beach. Gas bottles, alcohol, glass, an Asda basket that's clearly been stolen. Flipping terrible, isn't it? Look at all this rubbish.
On the seafront, we find immigration is something white British people want to talk about, but not openly and not on camera.
The one.
Duh, they'll get arrested, literally. If you say, I love bacon, you get arrested. If you put up a Union Jack flag, you will get arrested because it's considered divisive. The UK does not belong to white Brits anymore. Literally, they have to parade around minorities in a news report and be like, what do you guys think of the Union Jack flag? It's okay to fly our own flag, is it right? You don't feel it's divisive at all. You don't feel any type of way, any different. And then they have to get the token minorities to be like, yeah, it's totally great. You know, white people, you should have your own flag. It is your own country after all. It's kind of weird that you have no rights in your own country. You can't even say anything. You know, we carved out our own population practically, or our own society in your own populations, in your own countries, that you're getting replaced wholesale. In like a few generations, we'll be at least at half, if not the majority. And then you can leave. What? You better nip this in the bud quickly.
Person they did find who dared to talk was clearly walking on eggshells.
The whole atmosphere of the place has changed. And it's strange to hear foreign languages spoken so frequently in our country.
Does that make you feel uncomfortable?
It does.
Is it the number of migrants that's coming? What is it?
Reportedly so. And visually, that seems to be the case. I mean, we see what we see.
What do you see?
I don't see many, I suppose, white British people around.
And they really put her on the spot.
Why does that trouble you?
Knowing the risk, she then has a bit of a wobble.
Sorry, I can't answer that question.
The woman we're talking to asks for a minute to gather her thoughts.
But then gathers up the courage to admit the truth. Basically, everything was so much better before.
It's like a sensitive, emotional... I remember how it was. I remember the community. I'm worrying that our society as Brits is being undermined by the people who are coming in.
What a backward old bigot. Who, seeking a quintessentially British seaside experience, wouldn't roll up to the beach expecting to witness this?
Oh, no. Rub.
Nigel Farage just unveiled his mass deportations plan. And the mainstream media had a complete hissy fit. As Ground News' biased comparison coverage shows, leftist media outlets rushed in to smear the policy as xenophobe.
Awful lot. I went to university here about 10 years ago. You could go out at night in the town. You know, it's quite known for its clubbing. Whereas now, like yesterday, we were in Bournemouth for a work.
Yeah, this problem, and besides a few other small pockets in America, is a uniquely Western European problem for now, and it is extending out into the Balkans, but not nearly as bad as this. Because the migrants that come over into Europe don't like the Balkans because there's no government help and no jobs that pay well like they do in Western Europe. So all the migrants, the illegal ones, The worst of the worst, they're all concentrating in like Germany, France, the UK, Sweden, Netherlands, all these places where, they're safe, forward-thinking, progressive societies with this suicidal ideation of trying to save the less fortunate. And they're inviting literal murders, rapists, like grooming gangs, people that have no intention of getting jobs. And it's not all, and that's not what we're saying. The point is, though, that you don't verify any of these people, you don't vet them, and you don't put any policies in place to at least check in on them monthly, yearly, bi-yearly, right? Like every 6 months, there should be, hey, you need to come into the office, check in. We need to see, how is your proficiency in the native tongue? Are you getting better? Are you still at that job, or are you maintaining a job? Have you been placed at a job, right? And if you falter on these, do you have any criminal convictions that have come up? Have you broken the law? And other stipulations. And if you falter on any one of those, you get revoked, your paperwork done, and you get sent right back to where you're going, or where you came from, excuse me. And that's how it should be. That's common sense policy. And anyways, migration or immigration, the border should be locked the hell down for absolutely everybody. You should be getting fingerprinted, facial recognized, everything. If you're not from, for example, the EU, if you're not from within the EU, you need to be vetted properly. You need to be put into a system so that you can get tracked of what you're doing within the country. It's called common sense. So that these people that keep coming in, they don't get to break the law in one country, evade it by escaping to another, live there a whole life, and then break the law there too. And they play this like patsy game, right? Of hot potato, pick a country, break a law, move to the next one, break another law kind of deal. They shouldn't be able to do that. But that's kind of what's happening in Europe. It's kind of a free-for-all. And then the government, when you're a migrant and you come over there illegally, they not only place you in a home, but give you stipends for food. And there's somehow this gray area where companies are operating in a way that allows them to get work permits. So they're given jobs when the government says you're not allowed to be given a job, but you're somehow receiving government benefits plus working, plus you're housed. So we're squeezing the government coffers, the treasury coffers, while ordinary, everyday Brits don't feel safe walking around anymore. Their pockets are getting lighter and lighter. They can't afford to keep on the lights because electricity is so expensive because, obviously, Europe's not getting its gas from Russia anymore because of the Ukraine war, which America is basically forcing down Europe's throats in a way. And now Europe has taken the lead on that idea. Trump quashed it, but still Europe's now dependent on LNG from the United States being shipped over, which is fucking expensive. And a whole bunch of a slew of shit that they're not helping themselves with. It's crazy what's happening.
And any female that wanted to go outside had to be chaperoned. And it doesn't matter
Chaperoned.
what political belief people have. Yeah. It's an instinctual thing now. It's just considered too dangerous. And there's an insidious vibe in the atmosphere. Lots of groups of people loitering. I wouldn't go out around Bournemouth alone at all, even in the daytime.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You just don't know. And that's the problem with them, where they're completely unchecked and unvetted. We don't know. And they're from cultures that are hostile to us, particularly as I've got blonde hair, blue eyes. That makes me feel particularly vulnerable.
Unsurprising, given the demeanour of some of Bournemouth's friendly new arrivals.
I'm not here to tell story, I'm here to rule. Fucking rule.
To rule?
I'm here to rule. To rule you, to rule Trump, to rule Elon Musk, to rule Netanyahu, to rule Jews.
Okay.
Yep.
Right, that's
Was that
what
happening?
a strange thing to say.
Anger in me.
Why are you angry?
Look at the anger in me. Like I can burn the whole world.
Burn the whole world?
The old-timers have noticed the changes.
Now there is a general atmosphere when you go into the town, particularly in the evening, of tension, and it's very uncomfortable, and it's not ideal. And I would advise anybody, for instance, with children, not to go into Bournemouth town in the evenings.
You would advise for the children. How about we bring masculinity back and advise that we defend our countries and our homelands? How about we advise instead of, we should go vote harder next time people start protesting in the streets, demand the government step down, and we get some real leaders that will do what needs to be done to restore law and order and safety within our countries. That's what we need to do, instead of having a nanny state that invites the whole world so it can get fucked. So all the hard work from the backs of the generations prior get completely erased and mooched off of by foreigners, invaders, whatever name you want to give them. How is this just? This is unjust.
A recent Labour MP has even actually voiced that opinion herself. So it has changed.
You cannot bring rubber off loads of cultural misfits, as I call them, into a town in the thousands and thousands, as they have done. Put them all over a small country like ours and not find that they're changing the whole atmosphere of where they live.
Many were shocked that Sky News would even broadcast such a report. The Sky News report on Bournemouth shows an amazing shift in tone on migration, openly contrasting a homogenous white past with contemporary scenes of hijabs and multiracialism. Narrated with a sad, concerned tone, even ends with discussion of white British feelings on this. There are 3 illegal migrant hotels in Bournemouth alone. Sexual attacks by migrants are becoming commonplace. Ditto for stabbings. Rape has increased by 276% and sexual offences have increased by 224%. Gang violence is soaring. And basically the town is turning into a seaside shithole.
Violent crimes have risen 173%, almost tripled. Public order offences have risen 223%, more than tripled. In 2024, the rate of antisocial behaviour incidents was higher here than in any other part of the country.
On Bournemouth Beach, the council has put up a sign telling people not to defecate in public. Last Sunday, we witnessed fights, open drug dealing and mass prayers. It's getting so bad. Resident vigilante citizen...
Open air drug dealing and mass prayers. Boy, they sure do go together, eh? Such devout followers. Okay. Well, technically it doesn't count because if you're drug dealing to the infidels, it's not really dealing, is it? Okay. You're destroying your enemies. 1,000 years to build, 40 years to destroy. Britain lost the war, Germany as well. We all lost the war. And people are clowning. Just read the comment. The UK is my least favorite Muslim era. If Muslim countries are great, why are they fleeing? Yeah, you could see the general temperature in the comments alone. You're being invaded. They're not rolling in tanks, but they're storming the beaches nonetheless. There you go. Cut off the benefits. It ends immediately. Like I said, how this is not considered treason, I don't know how. This is wild. It's only going to keep getting worse. There is some kind of undercurrent bubbling to the surface, though, in the UK. And people are starting to openly defy everything. And I believe there's talk on the, quote, right, their conservative side about mass deportations, as you saw earlier. And so they may have their Trump-esque moment where they do close the borders and start deportation. But you have to wonder, is it too late? Have these people become entrenched in these communities? Will they really have the intestinal fortitude to mass deport millions of people that they've brought in? It remains to be seen. Surely the population that has to deal with the real world consequences of mass immigration would say yes. But do politicians who are like wet noodles and flail in the wind just to get voted, acting like they care about policies, but just saying what gets them elections? Will those people, will we have real leaders finally step up in all these countries with testicular fortitude, more importantly, to see fit to the very end these policies and restore what was? We'll see. The next 5 to 10 years, guys, are going to be extremely interesting and will kind of be a very accurate gauge on where we're heading. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate everybody that's been getting these hats, dude. Wow, they've been selling like hotcakes. Be careful wearing them in certain parts of America. And appreciate everybody that's been getting shirts. You know, the bug sandwich, the Bill Gates one is doing very well. He's been in the news recently for doing Bill Gates kind of things, especially with like fake butter and all that other stuff. He seems to be getting his nose into all the future dystopian bug slop that they're trying to feed us all, you know? Now it's fake butter, carbon-based, and whatever else they're shoving down our throats. As usual, boys, take care of yourselves.